Hey everybody, I'm SARA WISEMAN, and we're working on another channeled message today. So here is the message. Understanding is a progression of light. The light of oneness cannot be dimmed. Understanding is a progression of light. The light of oneness cannot be dimmed. And for me, this speaks of this idea of our infinite nature. And it speaks of our infinite soul and our connection to larger collective soul. And again, we're not talking about just human soul. We're talking about the larger consciousness that exists through the conglomeration or the collective or the melding or the merging or the part of each of us that is part of this larger collective soul that is oneness. It's been interesting. I've been reading, lately I've been reading a lot of books written around the 80s and 90s, maybe some of the 70s, talking about some of these ideas of the subconscious or the unconscious, or using some of these different words, or collective unconscious, which I think maybe was a Jungian term. And what's interesting to me is that the wordings that I keep being given in the channeling, that these are not words that I'm given to use. It's not really it's not really my choice what the words are that come through. It's just what comes through. And then as I work along this work, and as you guys work along this work, my understanding is becoming more clear. It feels like the term that I'm using as soul, or the terms that this channeling is using as soul, is somewhat closer to Edgar Cayce's use of the word supra-consciousness, which was kind of like this idea of the elevated consciousness. It's definitely not the subconscious, which is the Freudian, the part of us that's not known. And I also don't think it's the unconscious, which is the part of us that is also that we're not aware of, or we're not known. This is the part of us, the soul is the elevated consciousness that is at a higher level of understanding than, say, our mind, ego, personality, certainly more than our body. It's at a higher level of understanding, or a higher level of connection. And so there's nothing unconscious about it. It's actually like the mind is unconscious. The mind is the one that's late to the game in understanding. It's certainly not subconscious in that, it's like this hidden thing. Soul self is right out there leading the way, should we decide to live our lives that way. And here's the choice. For me, the way that I see it, there's body, which allows the physicality to work and allows the physicality to be in energetic form. The micro of the body always reflecting the macro of all situation going on, all the environment, all the feelings, all the emotions coming in. The body, the body keeps the score, the body remembers everything, the body can't lie. The body is our gauging system at some level, in addition to our way of getting around and our way of feeling things. The mind, ego, personality is kind of like what we think is in charge, but really it's sort of like this old piece of recording equipment that nobody uses anymore, that when you play it, it has all these old stories in it that we've long ago left behind. So the mind, ego, personality is like, it wants to control it all, but it's really not that great at setting the pace or guiding us into this bigger realm. And then the soul is the part that feels a part of everything all the time. And so here in this channeling, understanding is a progression of light. So light would be the expansion. Understanding is a progression of going from dark to light. So as we understand more, we go from one piece of light to a higher level of light, almost like the atmosphere gets thinner as we go up, the light gets greater as we get more understanding. As we progress through our understanding, we become enlightened. The light of oneness cannot be dimmed, and this refers to our, the body's going to die. The mind, ego, personality cannot exist without the body. It's going to die too, but the soul keeps on going. Part of everything always. Can't get away from it. Might as well work with it. Anyway, these are a little esoteric, but just thinking about it in this particular way as different than maybe some other traditions you've heard or some other terms you've used, and just to make you aware of kind of what I've been receiving, and maybe that'll hopefully be helpful to you. Anyway, I'm SARA Wiseman, and you will find me at sarawiseman.com.